Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are, and welcome to our Nerd Nation stream. We are talking Falcon and the Winter Soldier, episode 2. I'm here with my usual cohort, cousin Cheeto. How you doing?
Doing good. How about yourself?
Fantastic, bright, early, fresh as a daisy. Can't wait to talk about this episode. I thoroughly enjoyed this episode, by the way. There was a lot of revelations in this episode. And first of all, this episode begins with John Walker in his locker room, getting his suit, and he's feeling the burden. This is what's so great. Like, when we first see John Walker, a lot of people didn't like him. Looks like what's his face from Up, didn't go down too well. But what you need to do is flesh out these dudes. And even though he might come across as a little bit of an asshole, he does feel the burden of taking over from Steve Rogers. Will he live up to the mantle? Can he be that person? He really wants to be another Steve Rogers, if anything, but it's not necessarily him to be that person. We get to meet Lamar Hoskins, who will later be known as Battlestar, and he reminds John Walker that Captain America is not just about going out there and beating the shit out of people. Captain America is about being with the people, the pageantry, the selfies and all of that. That comes with the job. That's part of the job. You are now becoming an icon of this country. So you're not just out there fighting, you're out there also, mingling too. And he also ended the conversation by saying, no more punching your way out of problems, which kind of gives you an idea of maybe what it was about in the past. So I
think that was a very small nod to where he's heading, because I feel like eventually, like, he's trying to do the Captain America thing now. Yeah. And it looks good right now, but I really feel like it's gonna, as we said last week, I mean, U.S. Agent is just a dickish Captain America, and I feel like this is just the littlest hint of his true personality.
No, I agree. So because we kind of got that near the end, because they're definitely really trying to play the part. You can see it in him, he's like smiling all the fucking time. And gentlemen, do you need a hand? And he says that later on, obviously, in the episode, and we will get to that. But we go to his parade, Bob, and he's having his unveiling and stuff like that, and he gets to meet the media, and his resume is very impressive. He's got the best agility, he's very fast and all of that sort of stuff. But he does mention to the journalist and the rest of the world that he's not a super soldier. I'm very glad that was established. I mean, that could be a lie, by the way. That might be a lie.
I don't think so. I feel like he's. I feel like he's, at least right now, I feel like he's normal.
Like a very highly trained.
Yeah, person. Just a very highly trained guy.
Fair enough. And he also doesn't have any gadgets like Tony Stark and stuff like that. He does have that shield, and he does know how to use it. And then we quickly cut to Bucky, and he's watching all this shit on television. He just can't fucking believe it, man. He's so vexed. He's boiling with rage. Yeah, it's funny because it's not even him who got the mantle. He's pissed off for Steve, not for Falcon. He's pissed off for Steve, and he's also a bit pissed off of himself. We find that out a little bit later. But he goes to finally visit Sam, and that's great. Like their introduction, we finally get to them meeting each other, and Bucky's pissed with Sam about giving the shield away, and now Walker's got it, and they're both kind of pissed off with the outcome, but kind of with a different way of approaching it. And Sam, at the end of the day, he's still the Falcon. He's still got shit to deal with, and he tells Bucky, "Listen, mate, I've got bigger fish to deal with. I've got the flag smashers. I can't be dealing with this new Captain America right now. That's not important." And he's got this intel from Red Wing as well, and we then get to the segment of like the bad free people, which are tend to be aliens, androids, and wizards and stuff like that. We saw that in the trailers as well. But we got Sam and Bucky together. They're both pissed off about the shield going to Walker. And Sam's on a mission, and Bucky joins them. Did you like all of that, Bob?
Oh yeah, it was a nice introduction. I'm glad they made it seem like a reversal in like a lot of the previews and stuff. That it made it seem like that Sam was kind of like trying to work with with Bucky, where it's actually the reverse. Bucky's like, you know, I'm following you around because you're not giving me what I want to hear, you know, and it's just like, so yeah, I kind of like it. I mean, it was a little bit of a different take than I thought they were going to go with it, which is always good.
Yeah, because it did. Yeah, I have to agree with you. It did feel like Sam would be reaching out because at the end of episode 1, once once Torres told Sam that these people seemed like they had superpowers, it seemed to me that Falcon's mindset was shit. This must be Bucky. You know what I mean? Because it seemed like that, but no. Instead of investigating that, Bucky goes to see him, which was kind of unusual. But I like it. It's different. Okay, so
well, yeah, and you bypass the whole now Sam is going to visit Bucky to read him, or they have this whole misunderstanding thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the whole hero versus hero miss. I'm glad we skipped that. I didn't want to see that.
So these guys have a mission to do. Well, Sam has a mission to do, and that mission is to go to Munich. Lovely part of the world, by the way. I've been there myself. And this is me, by the way, if anyone doesn't know, Munich's in Germany. And but Sam has a plan, but he's not telling Bucky the plan, and he just jumps out the airplane. And they're about 200 feet above ground level, and Buck doesn't want to be left behind. He wants to be going there too. There's no parachute, so he just jumps the fuck out the plane. Like, he's a super soldier after all, so why the hell not?
I love Torres is sitting there. He's like, "You sure?" He's like, "Yeah, maybe." And I was like, "Oh God!" You know what? I love the fact because in a lot of the Marvel movies, Sebastian Stan plays, and I'm not saying anything about his acting, but he plays this very like rock hard stoic character, and it's like in this you get to see a little bit more of his personality.
Yeah, he's having to like just go with the flow, so to speak, and I like that. And he's being himself in a way. He's still being like a super soldier, but as James Buchanan Barnes, not as the Winter Soldier. And so the James Buchanan Barnes personality is coming out, which I like. So they catch up with each other, Sam and Bucky, and they're at this warehouse, and some people are smuggling shit. I don't know exactly what they're smuggling. Could you tell? Was it weapons?
No, they thought it was weapons, but it was vaccines.
Vaccines. Okay, interesting. So as they're in the warehouse moving about, Bucky, he's going kind of Winter Soldier mode, being a bit stealthy, trying to keep out of sight, observing what's going on. And then Sam jokingly calls him, the White Panther for all his time he spent in Wakanda. And then Bucky corrects him and says, actually, it's the White Wolf, which I like. And hopefully, if they do make a season 2, it'll be called Captain America and the White Wolf. That's what I wanted to.
Honestly, if I want Bucky to kind of be in Black Panther too, like not obviously as the main person, but like he is like I want at the end of this.
He should be the Shuri love interest. I keep saying it, man.
Well, I feel like maybe at the end of this he should go to Wakanda and then he'll show up in Black Panther 2. And I mean, like I feel like because I feel like he is really connected with Wakanda because it's his only place of peace.
I would like actually for him to end up at the end of this season for him to end up at in Wakanda, because a lot of it is kind of focused on Falcon being Captain America, but what the hell's going to happen to Bucky?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So I would love to see him go to end up back at Wakanda.
Well, maybe he'll go for a younger lady, and he'll go for
everyone's a younger lady, dude.
He'll go for a younger lady. It'll be Shuri's mom.
Maybe. He can go, hey, auntie, to her too. So they assume that the Flag Smashers have a hostage because Red Wing's able to infrared and all that sort of stuff, and that's when the trucks drive off with the Flag Smashers. That's when we see a little bit of like Winter Soldier, Bucky's ability. Like you see him run really fast, and he catches up to that truck, which was pretty cool. Like the guy is, but he is like, even though he's not Captain America, Falcon pretty much has like somebody in the same sort of conditioning as Captain America, if not the mindset.
Yeah.
So he got that as a partner. So I was really happy because we saw this in the trailers. So we're getting something from the trailers out of the way very early, which is kind of nice in a way. It kind of leaves the rest of the show to unravel, so to speak. So we got some nice action scenes here with Bucky initially opening the truck, investigating what's going on, sees that young lady from Star Wars Solo, and she kicks him out the truck. You know,
she was in Star Wars.
She was in Solo.
Who was she?
You remember those rebels and stuff like that near the end of the episode, and they all start unmasking. She's one of them.
Oh, that one.
Yeah. Anyway, that's her. Yeah.
I knew that she wasn't a hostage as soon as because she's the one who
trailers made us realize
in part one.
The trailers made me realize she wasn't a fucking hostage. Yeah. so, anyways, I mean, if they kind of twisted it and the trailers kind of fooled me to thinking that she was an antagonist and she was a hostage after all, then that would have been clever. But the fact is, the trailers made me realize she wasn't a fucking hostage. So, let me just get to my notes. So yeah, Sam gets kicked. Sorry, Bucky gets kicked out, and now we have the action scene, and this is where Red Wing dies. Poor Red Wing. He only lasts till episode 2, but I love the way Bucky was so happy about it. Everyone in the Avengers, everyone hates Red Wing. I don't know why. Everybody. What's your issue with Red Wing? Do you understand why they hate him? I mean,
no. I
never liked him either.
No, I mean, I don't care. It's a piece of tech. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I just love his reaction when he's just they're holding, they have him by the arms and they're holding him, and he's like, I always wanted to do that.
I'm surprised they're able to hold him so well, but I guess they're super soldiers.
Yeah, they're super soldiers too. Yeah. So I mean, I'm assuming their power level is right around the same level.
Now, this is the part which really, I have to say, I am thoroughly enjoying John Walker. I don't know about you. I am fucking loving this character. Yeah.
I mean, I don't hate him, I said.
I'm liking what they're doing with him because he's a bit of a doofus to a degree, and he's trying to be a bit of a duke, and I love it. I love it so much. So he comes in there, Captain America and Battlestar, and they come in there, and and stuff, and he's all right with the shield. He knows how to use it, man.
They showed him even in the Good Morning America clip. I mean, he was practicing with it. I mean, he was.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they did as well. And he gave a good account for himself for somebody with no super strength. He did look like he was struggling when he was hanging off the edge of the trailer, but
that's why I think he's not. I don't think he's. I mean, unless they're doing a bait and switch. But
I also like the way he used the gun as well. I'm so surprised he never used his gun more. Because he's different and. Sorry, slightly distracted there. And I like the way how he saved Battlestar. That was pretty cool. That was a good save.
Yeah, but then he lost. Then he lost his shield. But
he lost his shield and
couldn't bounce back. It would have been great if he would have picked it up and threw it, and then he caught it.
Yeah. But yes, that was a good little fight scene, and I liked all of that action. We did enjoy that action scene. I knew that was going to be the action scene of the episode. It feels like we're going to get one major action scene per episode. And I don't mind that. It doesn't have to be at the beginning. It does I think with a lot of shows they tend to feel that the action has to come at the end. Yeah. And I like the way what Falcon and Winter Soldier is doing it. They're gonna have an action scene, but it might not be, it will be somewhere in the episode. And that's all that matters, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So it was a good moment. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I mean, I do kind of like the polar opposites between because John Walker or U.S. Agent, I'll call him U.S. Agent, and Battlestar are they're actually pretty good in tandem. I mean, they've been training together, they've known each other a long time, and then you got Sam and Bucky here that are just they'd have no idea, they know what they're doing individually, but together, as a team, it's just they'd rather antagonize each other. Falcon's down there going, "That little girl kicked your ass," and he's like, "All right."
Exactly, and he saved his life there as well because he was in a precarious situation. But you could see the sort of Riggs and Murtaugh sort of Lethal Weapon 1 sort of bonding they got. Two cops who hate each other end up being best friends. We can see it. They're going to be.
I want them to be best friends though.
Dude, they're gonna end up. Well, look, it's gonna be a love-hate relationship.
Well, I'm okay with them respecting each other, but I don't want them to be all buddy.
No. I don't think it's ever gonna be like that. There's gonna be camaraderie and it's gonna be banter, and I think that's just gonna bring a friendship in its own way. It's not gonna be necessarily buddy, It's not going to be like how they were with Steve. Their friendship's going to be different, but it's still going to be a friendship, nevertheless. So let me see. So we get to have a little bit of communication now between these two sets of superheroes. Walker, Lamar Hoskins, aka Battlestar, Buck, and the Falcon all share some intel together in the back of a car. And then Walker's actually trying to reach out to Falcon. He really is. From throughout this episode, he really is trying to reach out to these guys. He'll rather work with them than against them. I can totally see where he's coming from. But because of the way Falcon was treated by the government, by giving shit to Walker, he just can't, and that last line at the end, even though when Walker was just about to reach out, I think he almost wanted Falcon to be his sidekick, and Falcon wasn't having that. And then he moved. What do you think of all of that?
No, I'm kind of I see where Sam's coming from, because it's like, what I can't remember the exact line, but it was like, what is Captain America without the Falcon at his side or something like that, or and it's just like, no, like you were very close. I feel like he was very close to getting Falcon to work with him, but he wanted Falcon to work.
Oh, you're frozen. You are frozen. I'm not sure if you're there. Is it me who's frozen? No, it's you frozen. I'm watching on stream. Yeah, you're frozen, mate. Because I'm moving in the stream and you're not. You might need to exit and come back. Let me just message my friend. You are frozen. Oh, okay. His electric's just flickered. Goddamn American fucking electricity. Okay, so it's me for a little while. Okay, fine. Okay, I'm going to keep going for a while now. So, back to Falcon and Winter Soldier. So, as we mentioned earlier, the two sets of superheroes have shared a bit of intel. I don't think Sam was also too happy that Red Wing was infiltrated by the US government, and so they were basically hacking into them, getting information off them whilst they were doing all the work, and they were just coming and following them and doing none of the work themselves. I think that's one of the reasons as well why Sam was a bit pissed off. But they moved on. Sam didn't want anything to do with those guys, and so they moved on. So we're back with the Flag Smashers, and they're at a hideout, and they're planning for the next mission. The leader of the Flag Smashers, this young lady with the red hair, her name is Carla. Oh my God, I'm going to butcher this. Morgenthau, Carla Morgenthau. And that's who she is. I believe she's the leader of the Flag Smashers. She receives a text, and the message on the text says that they know who she is and they're going to kill her. So, I wonder who that could be. Interesting. I mean, I don't know. This is obviously setting up for maybe other villains, maybe another antagonist further down the line. But yeah, there is somebody who wants to kill her, and they say they know who she is. So is she an imposter amongst these people? Is she not supposed to? Is somebody else the leader of the Flag Smashers, and she's taken over as their leader? Maybe they were supposed to go down a different route, and she took them down this route instead. Who knows? But that text message alone is going to, I swear to God, the theories that's going to come out of that text message in the next week is going to explode over YouTube, man. Who's trying to kill her? Who says they know who she is? Who is she really? It's like, fuck it out. Sorry, Bob. Are you okay now?
We have high winds right now, so my internet bugged out or my electric bugged out for a second, and then so anyway, but I was listening on the.
Where were you last? As you were saying,
I don't know. I was listening where you were, so I know exactly what you're talking about. But yeah, I mean, I don't. Yeah, the theories are going to be crazy. I can't wait for them to say, "Oh, it's the Human Torch." No, I don't know.
I mean, who do you think it could be? Just from yourself, because I honestly am really clueless. I mean, the best I got is maybe like Hydra.
Yeah, right. Hydra. My initial thoughts, and this may not be justified, but my initial thoughts went to U.S. agent, because this happened. This happened right after they fought them.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was my first thought. Now I don't. The more I think about it, the less likely it is that it's U.S. agent. But here's what's going to happen. Eventually, John Walker is going to get, and this is my prediction. John Walker is going to get pissed off enough at Falcon and Bucky that he is going to go to the Flag Smashers to find out where their strength comes from, and that's where he's going to get the super soldier serum from. Like he is going.
Yeah. I
So,
think
and
so
then
too. I
I don't
think
know if
so
he's going
too.
to join the Flag Smashers per se, but I know he's definitely going to go to them to get the super strength so he can be like, oh, I'm not good enough as Captain America. Well, now I got the powers too. So,
Just regarding the Flag Smashers, by the way, I'm very much in this category of like a universal collective of everyone getting together instead of all of us bordering up. Nevertheless, they want the world to be like how it was during the blip. That's never going to happen again. So what the hell are they going to? What are they going to try and do? Kill off half the population for a fucking poisoning or something like that? I mean, what the fuck are they going to do?
No, I think they just want to go back to that style of government. Like the one world, whether it's
it was more of a one world government because of the blip.
yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
So I mean, and they even made mention when they were sitting in the car with U.S. agent driving that the restoration of yada yada. They basically did a kind of a comic booky talk as to what happened in the past several months since the blip back, and like how governments are now starting to reform. And I wish they would have expanded a little bit. I know it's more exposition, but like that's the stuff I want to hear about. I want to hear about what happened after the blip back. So but it was a very quick like 2-line 3-line thing that Walker was talking about, about all these things, all these nations kind of splitting off and yada yada or something like that. But it was just a very quick mention and nod. And I just wish they would explore that a little bit more, because I think, especially for this flag, and we might see that when we get into like whatever episode, the kind of like we get the Flag Smasher origin, the origin of that group. I feel like we're going to get that, a little bit more of how the governments were during the blip.
Yeah,
I would love to see it.
I mean, I think the 5-year period of the blip is a fascinating bit of storytelling that needs to be told in various ways. It's a bit like a universe of its own. Like, what is it like for these characters? What is it like for these characters? And so on and so on and so on. It'd be very interesting. I would love to, like I said, I've always wanted to know. I would love to spend 5 years with Thor, seeing him just fall apart, right up to the moment Rocket comes to his door. That's what I want to see, I mean, stuff like that. But anyway, it's not got too much of a tangent here. Now, with Buck and Sam are in their plane flying back to America, and Buck has a plan. He wants to visit an old friend because of the super soldier serum, and amongst these Flag Smashers, they need to find some more information regarding this serum. So Buck has an old friend, kind of an old enemy to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
This person is Isaiah Jackson. Now, he was the person who took over from Captain America, Steve Rogers, as far as the MCU are concerned, not in the comics. But as far as the MCU are concerned, once Steve Rogers was on ice, Isaiah Jackson was the next person in line. And unfortunately, back then, in those times, those harsher times, he wasn't treated the same way as Steve Rogers was, because being a black person, he was treated far worse. He was experimented on, and he was thrown in jail for 30 years. You would have thought somebody with his ability would be able to break out, but I guess he'd always be on the run. So, yeah, he was in jail for 30 years. He's a very, very bitter person, and he's got nothing really to say to Bucky. He's got a real issue with Bucky. I think. Sorry, I apologize, losing my train of thought. But Sam Wilson is like totally, like he's overwhelmed by this. There was a fucking black Captain America, after Steve Rogers. Like, what the hell? I mean, he couldn't believe it. He was so pissed off that that Bucky never told him about this shit. And I don't know. I'm not sure if Isaiah was able to give him anything. Was Isaiah able to give them any information at all, Rob?
No, I think he just wanted Sam to meet him. I guess I don't think they really went there for information.
No,
Well,
they did. They did because he was a super soldier, and they needed to know about super soldiers, and so they went to him for some ideas.
yeah, but apparently he didn't have any.
He
I
was.
don't know.
He
I
was
didn't
too,
catch anything, so
yeah, likewise. I think I just all I caught was his bitterness, and I don't blame him. You know what I mean? Being experimented on for 30 fucking years in jail. You know, when you are there to be Captain America for fuck's sake, but unfortunately being black meant that he was sidelined. Mondino says new captain will get killed off in battle with Falcon reluctantly by his side, leaving Sam with no choice and become Black Captain America. That's my 2 pence. Yes, I've heard actually. There's been some big YouTubers who totally fucked up and got it all wrong with WandaVision, but nevertheless they're respectable YouTubers. They've been
respectable.
Yeah, they've been saying that uh, John Walker's going to die in this show, and I personally hope he doesn't.
I don't want him to die. I honestly want him to be. I want him to be the U.S. agent, and I want him to be in the Thunderbolts. I mean,
I want him to be. I want him to still be U.S. agent. I want the government to manufacture a vibranium shield for him, his own shield.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
well, and I mean, in the comic books, he has his own. Like it's but instead of red, white, and blue, it's black, red, and white. You know,
yeah. I know. I've seen it. I also want him to want to not to take the name of Captain America himself. Like it's almost something he doesn't want to be known as. The mantle was given to Sam. I think he'll respect that. So, which is why he'll call himself a U.S. agent or some shit like that. But still try to be a Captain America clone in some ways, but just give himself a different name and create his own legacy, which is what he might want to try to do. Let's get back to the notes. So we're outside Isaiah's house now, and Sam and Bucky just fucking arguing, as they're pretty much doing the whole episode. and the police come along, and they immediately are they're racially profiling Sam, and look, I know what it's like to be racially profiled, so I could respect everything that was going on here, and even with Bucky as well. Like Bucky just is like so unaware of what's going on as well at the same time, like with the racism, and to a degree, even Sam was a little bit, but he starts picking up on it very quickly. And then eventually they find out that he is actually Sam Wilson, the Falcon. So they leave him alone because he's a fucking Avenger. But they end up arresting Bucky Barnes because he's been missing therapy. It could have gone to shit. I'm surprised they didn't kill him earlier before they had a chance to realize who he was. But I thoroughly enjoyed that scene. Because, I've always said racism is still an issue. And it was lightly portrayed without making it too much of a fucking, of a flag for some people who would find stuff like this offensive for some reason, maybe because they got too many racist bones in their bodies. But I like seeing shit like this. It still reminds us that it doesn't matter that if you're a fucking black celebrity, if you're not recognized initially, they're just going to look at you as black. And I like that. That was a very, very good thing. You got anything to say on all of that, Bob, before I continue?
No, I mean, I like how it was Bucky the one who basically looked good, because like I didn't want Sam to be like, "Do you know who I am?" Like I
like that too. I like that
Bucky
too.
Bucky's like, "Do you know who this is?" Like he didn't even say like anything about himself, which I mean I guess you wouldn't if you were a former assassin, but like he's like, "Do you know who this is?" And then the other cop stepped in and said, kind of whispered to him who it was. And he's like, "Oh my God, I'm sorry, Mr. Wilson." And it's like, well, that's what happens when you racially profile people. You look like a dick.
So apparently John Walker bailed Bucky from prison, which is pretty cool. Nice of him. I mean, he really is trying. You can't help you can say he is trying. He really is trying. So
that's why I think he's eventually just going to get that's why he's going to turn, because it's going to be it's going to be Sam and Bucky's fault because they keep pushing him away. He's going to get pissed.
No. This is where it's a little bit wrong, because this is where John Walker forgets that just because he keeps trying and they're still being arseholes doesn't mean that, okay, fine, fuck you guys then. You know what I mean? I'm going to just take my ball and go. No, he's still got to be the good guy. He's still got to reach out. Oh, and no matter how many times they fucking turn him away, he has to constantly reach out all the time. You can't stop John, because Steve would do that. You know what I mean? You've got to, you know, but he gives up after a while. He tries, like, I think he does the 3 strikes rule. He said, fuck this, I'm done, you know, by the end, but we'll get to that. But he bails them out. But the therapist there, who's also at that scene, like, she's not done with Bucky as well as Sam, and she brings them into the room, and we have that therapy session, which we see in the trailers. But this is kind of extended as well. Sorry, let me just get to my notes, because we finally get a moment where both of these guys really tell each other what they're feeling. And the reason why Bucky is pissed off with Sam is that Steve gave you that shield and you didn't take on the mantle. But Sam, you know, counters by saying, listen, I want you guys to understand that I made the best decision I believed was right for me, which was a great response to that. And they're all leg locked and shit like that while they're doing it, you know, as well, proper getting into it. And I like the way Sam ends the session as well. Thank you very much. You know, this has been very light. He's been kind of slightly sarcastic as he with the way he's saying it. You know, this has been very enlightening. You know, I'm ready to move on now. Gives Bucky a hard slap on his vibranium arm and walks out. I loved it. Fucking loved it. What do you think of that scene, Bob?
I like it because we're not seeing like the happy-go-lucky Sam. You know, like there's some there's some shit going down, and now he's sitting here and like his partner gets arrested. And then he's got to go and sit in this therapy session, and Sam's annoyed as hell. He's like, what does any of this have to do? And I mean, I know it does have to do with him a little bit on Bucky's end, but he's like, Sam's like, what the hell does this have to do with me? We got work to do.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. We got work to do. Like, we got some fucking flag smashes and shit. You guys are all fucking crying over this goddamn shield. Yeah, which it's not my fault. Somebody else, they lied to me. They should have respected it. It's not his. Yeah, I mean, I know where Sam's coming from. It's like they almost blame him for fucking John Walker having it. He never, like, just because somebody gives you something doesn't mean you have to take it.
Well, that's the thing, though, is that, I mean, they made it all seem, they never said they were like, Sam didn't give up the shield to hand it to some, like, he gave it up to retire it.
He Indiana Jones did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, like, and then then the government just took the relic out of there and just started using it. And it's just like, I think that's where the issues come in. Huh?
Yeah, it's probably worth about $1 billion.
I think this is 3. Wasn't it like $3 billion? No, that was Vision.
Yeah, Vision's only worth $3 billion only. You know what I mean?
No, it might have been $3 trillion. I don't know.
And so we get to see John Walker outside with Battlestar, and once again they're reaching out, and they find out, I believe, about their tech being hacked and stuff like that. No, it's not then. They find out earlier, but it kind of ends with Sam saying, "Listen, we're free agents. You guys work for the government. You guys have particular rules. We don't." And then they walked off, and John Walker just had enough and said, "You know what? If that's the case, then you better stay out of our way." And
that's where you really see the U.S. agent dickishness come out.
That's when you see John Walker being himself, and it's a shame, really, because once again, I go back to what I said earlier. He has to they could turn you down 1,000,000 times, John, but you've got to always be there for them, no matter what. That's what Captain America is. And the fact that he told them to fuck off is when he started not being Captain America anymore.
I feel like if they were trying to be the true Captain America, I feel like what they should have done is, like not really kept reaching out, but just be like, okay, well, if we run across each other, we'll work with you, but we're gonna do our own thing, and you guys do your own thing.
And if we find out that you guys are in trouble, we will save you whether you like it or not, and stuff like that,
Yeah,
just
look,
to
if you guys are in
reinforce.
trouble again, we're gonna still save your ass. But
you have to reinforce, because that if I like these guys, like Sam and Bucky are very standoffish. They can't help themselves. They can't help themselves. So it is up to John to prove himself to them. Yeah, and for John to then, because they don't have to prove themselves to John. They're fucking Avengers. They know, like it's up to John to prove themselves to them. Yeah, and in that case, I think John failed at the end. He failed by telling them to back out. And this is good in a way, because we're going to see the arsehole US agent a little bit more now. Maybe he'll just be smiling for the cameras, but behind the scenes he'll be very, very
Homelander.
much. Yes, Homelander. I'm glad you mentioned that. I was thinking of a word to use, but that's the right one.
Very Homelander of him.
So we're back with the flag smashers, and they're leaving on a private jet in Slovakia. Was it Slovakia, or was it supposed to be Sokovia?
No, it was I thought that was
place. No, that was but the country. I think the country was Slovakia.
Oh, maybe I don't know. I didn't.
Which is just so you know, is a real country.
What? It's not another made up one?
No, it's a real one. And they're smuggling some boxes, and the cops come on the scene, and before they leave, one of them stays behind to stop the cops. So they give their people a chance. And one thing I've liked about the flag smashers in the last 2 episodes, what we've seen of them, is that they are there for each other. Like in the first episode, when one of the flag smashers was being attacked by Torres, the big guy with the bags, he defended that flag smasher and beat up Torres. In this one, you could see that the guy who was leaving himself behind to sacrifice himself, it meant something for the rest of the group. And they're there for each other. There is a real unity for each other, and it's kind of interesting to see with this group. I think there's going to be a lot of a lot of people liking the flag smashers, unless they do something really fucked up, which might be the case.
Well, I remember they did mention when they were at that little safe house or whatever, they did mention, they say after tomorrow everything changes. What's tomorrow? Like what, what are they going to be doing next week, or
my God,
next week's episode?
The theories are going to be thick and fast for that one too, Bob. I'm glad you mentioned that, man. So now Buck and Sam are no longer going to be dealing with John Walker. Well, as far as they're concerned, they realize they still need more intel, and there might be some Hydra links as well to all of this, because something else to do with Isaiah Jackson mentioning that you're one of them. It wasn't to do with him being white; it was him being Hydra, and regarding Bucky. And so regarding Hydra information, there might be only one person left for them to go to, and that's Zemo. And we see him in Berlin, because that big circle, we saw that big shot was the Berlin circle. And we go to looks like a massive security facility, some sort of prison facility, and he's just sitting there on his own with his thoughts.
I thought he would be on the raft. Like, I mean, I know he's not a super, but at the same time, he did beat the Avengers. I would figure that would give him a pass to the raft.
Well, we know where he is, and we got 4 more episodes left now. So Zemo needs to be established. Not only that, he needs to somehow get his fucking mask, and somehow be the badass that he is. It'll be interesting to see him and Bucky see each other again. I mean, I wonder what it's going to take for Bucky not to kill him. But that encounter is going to be. But it was Bucky's idea to see him, so maybe Bucky's got more of it.
Well, Baron Zemo is on the list.
Yeah, Baron Zemo's on the list as well, which is maybe another reason why he wants to see him. Kills 2 birds with 1 stone in that sense.
Forgives 2 birds with 1 stone.
No,
remember that's a part of his therapy.
No, kill 2 birds, just a phrase that he's not only going to see. Okay, fair enough then. All right. So yeah, so we're gonna get to see Zemo finally, my man Zemo. Like I said, very good episode. Decent amount of character development as well as progression with the plot. We're finally getting into this flag smasher thing, but I think it's not going to be just black and white. I think, you know, the funny thing is with a lot of the Avengers, sometimes the people who work alongside you are just as bad as the bad guys you're fighting. And in this case, it'll be, you know, US agent, Battlestar. At some point, they're going to end up being the antagonist. And at some point, Sam's going to get the shield off him. We've seen that in the trailers with him throwing those shields around in his Louisiana mansion, around his Louisiana ranch. So that's going to come into play. So does John Walker? I mean, this is why I believe Mondino said that he thinks John Walker is going to get killed off simply because people have assumed that he will get killed off because we've seen the trailers with him, with Sam with the shield.
Well, but even Bucky said, let's just take the shield. Like, so maybe something happens and they take, like, I don't know if he's going to die. Maybe that's what I'm saying. Maybe he's going to get messed up really bad in one of these fights. And
he can't go back to his Louisiana ranch. That's one of the first places they're going to look for him. You know?
Well, but that's what I mean. Like, maybe US agent gets messed up really bad. And then, or maybe like, you know, that all four of them get messed up. Well, not messed up really bad, but like US agent gets just wrongful stomped. So he's like laid out, like he's not gone, but he's laid out. And then maybe they give him the super soldier serum to heal him. Or maybe this flag smashers capture him and then try. I don't know. I mean, but eventually Sam and Bucky walk away with the shield, but I don't think he's going to die. I don't think they're going to introduce a US agent and just kill him off.
No, I agree. I don't want that to happen. I want the US agent to be a very prominent part, you know, in the MCU. See, I like the fact that we have heroes who could easily be villains. I like that. There's something intriguing about that. You know, they're one misstep away from being the bad guy, and US agents like that, Wonders like that. You know, but they're supposed to be on our side, yet they could easily be on the opposite side. I like that. It makes it seem way more interesting. Even with things like the flag smashers, if they make them more sympathetic, then, you know, are they really the bad guys? I mean, obviously, if they blow up a building and shit like that and kill innocent people, of course they're the bad guys. You know, but right now, I'm quite sympathetic with them. They just look like people who have a cause, and so everyone's on their case.
Yep.
Yeah. So that was episode 2, Bob. What would you give it out of 5?
Out of 5? 4.
Yeah.
I mean, 4.5 maybe. I mean, it was a good episode. It was good to see Bucky and Sam together finally. It was good to see a lot of, like, you know, a little bit of side story on the flag smashers. It was good to see, you know, it was good to give us a little bit of a behind the scenes on US agent and where he comes from, what he's trying to do. He's, you know, so I mean, you know, he's just not, you know, some old man look-alike. You know, I mean, I hope, yeah. I mean, if a lot of people are theorizing that he's going to die, I hope he doesn't.
If anything, there's more chance of Battlestar dying. Then I think if anyone's going to die, I think it might be Battlestar.
Maybe that's what pushes him over the edge.
Pushes him over the edge, or says or makes him want to give it up. You know.
And then Battlestar comes back with a mechanical arm, and he's an assassin.
I'm just the only thing even though I like this characterization of John Walker, I think they should have made him a lot more intelligent. For fuck's sake, you're Captain America. You know, you need to look for the most perfect specimen possible in every aspect. He's got to be extremely intelligent, and he's got to be extremely fit. And unfortunately, John Walker, he comes across as a bit brain dead. I'm not sure how you feel.
I mean, a little bit. I mean, I don't feel like he's like as duncy as you portray him as, but I definitely see where you're like, he does have those like airhead moments. But then so did Cap. Like for Captain America, the first Avenger, Cap did a bunch of stuff that was just like, you know, I don't want to say dumb, but like just very airhead, you know, like, but I mean, he was still figuring everything out. And I mean, that's kind of where US agent is. But as I said, but with Cap, he still held to his beliefs and was not a dick about it. And I think US agent's going to become more of a dick about it.
I just feel like US agent should be a very, very sharp-minded individual. I just feel like, if the government are looking for that successor, then they're gonna look for, like, like, you look at astronauts, for Christ's sake. I mean, they're super fit, they're super intelligent. It's almost like that level of person you're looking for, in every aspect.
Well, and here's the other thing is that if, let's say, they do have their hands on a super soldier serum, and it's based on the Erskine, the original super soldier serum, like, at least in some shape or form.
Mm-hmm.
Are you frozen?
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay. But remember what Erskine said. If it makes a good person better, it makes a bad person worse.
Yeah.
So if John Walker is a dick and they give him the super soldier serum, he might be more of a dick. Like
that's if it follows Erskine's version. It might still be a different type of super soldier serum where it just gives you enhanced strength without doing anything to your personality. And if he was already a dick anyway, he might just become more of a dick because he's got more power, regardless of that, if you know what I mean.
And he's American, so he's a dick anyway.
So was Steve Rogers. Don't do yourselves. Steve Rogers is actually, like, he made being American cool again.
I am a real American. All right.
So let's wrap this up.
Yep.
Episode 3 next week. I actually forgot to do Young Rock. It totally slipped my mind. I do apologize. I'll get that done for you guys this weekend. That's episode 4, I believe, of Young Rock. But until then, I'm not sure if there's anything else on the agenda, Bob.
No. I mean, we're gonna start working on some fan films. We got an upcoming tier list that we're going to start working on, which these aren't anything live, but you'll start to see them, coming out in the next week or two on the channel. We got are we doing the X-Men tier list next?
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, that, I don't know if that might just be one part, or maybe 2 parts, but I think we might be able to knock it out in one part. But yeah, I mean, just, just support, really right now we're a small channel. We're growing, and if the only thing we need from you right now is support, is a click and a sub. That's it. Like, a click for a like and a sub. That's it.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll be talking more Falcon Winter the Soldier next week, and anything else that comes out which is nerdy, you'll hear it from us for sure. As long as it's relevant, though. Like, if it's like the 3rd trailer of, like, the Godzilla movie, fuck that. I mean, one trailer's enough.
I think we just need, I mean, unless there's something significant, like, especially Godzilla versus Kong, I don't care.
I didn't mind doing one trailer, but there's been like a billion trailers. I haven't even seen half of them. I just, like, it's just ridiculous. It's like, you don't need to, we won't be doing trailer reactions for, like, the upteenth trailer for God knows for some shitty film which will be forgotten about after it's been released after 2 weeks. So anything of relevance, any good news that comes up, Star Wars, Star Trek, Marvel, DC, and everything in between.
You just did a trailer reaction for the Gollum game last night, or the Lord of the Rings Gollum game.
Yes, I did. That's on our Nerd Nation. Have a look at that. I did the fan reaction for the new game, which is based around Lord of the Rings. It's based around the Gollum character. It looks like a stealthy sort of game where you don't have much strength. You're more like having to hide from people trying to kill you. One of those. It looks like big developers have taken a lot of inspiration from indie developers who've made those sort of stealthy, don't get killed sort of games. So that's what it looks like to me. Have your opinion. Look at it on our YouTube channel. I have a video of it right now. So we're going to end this up. Thank you very much for watching. Have a nice day, and hopefully we'll see you guys soon. If you don't see us before next week, you'll see us next week for Falcon and Winter Soldier episode 3. Bye-bye.